You also said, and I think that what you have just said explains why you said that New York, to a greater extent than the small towns, which considered themselves the repositories of American virtue, the Midwest and the South, it's always in the rural West, it's always been that way. New York, nonetheless, considered itself to some extent the moral conscience of the nation.
Absolutely.
So why don't you comment on that, and also on your opinion of whether that isn't still in fact true today?
Oh, it was then. I think it is now too. To me, anyway, I bring to it all the prejudices of a native New Yorker. But the notion that it's the Midwest that has the fundamental bedrock American values, I dispute from the top, because it was New York who took in the immigrants. I mean, the oppressed and the oppressed masses huddled here. We gave free educations to sons of immigrants and grandsons of slaves. They didn't do that out there in Kansas. They weren't doing it in Adolph Rupp's Kentucky. We were doing it here. And to me, this is what America is about. America is about New York. And when I say New York, I mean there are other urban areas too, but New York is really what American values, that you're all welcome here. We take everybody and we help them. We give them free education. They weren't getting free educations out there. This was the place. You know, I could bring my father. My father was an immigrant, came from Romania. And he came over here at around the age of 7 or thereabouts. And he used to tell me how he's put in the first grade and he didn't know the language and how to learn the language and everything else. By the time he was 16 years old, he was in City College. And he went there for a year. His father had a stroke. He had to go to work. Very frequently told story, and so he was finished with that. But to him, New York was the whole world.
Right.
I mean, we came, you know, from what he would say, we came from Maine. We weren't allowed to have books. We weren't allowed to go to school. We weren't allowed any of this.
Right.
And they came to New York and they give you the books for nothing.
Right.
And you go to school for nothing.
Right.
And you go to college for nothing and they give you the books for nothing.
Yeah.
And I mean, this to him was a miracle. And so New York and City College, I mean, that are the highest places on earth. And it was that way to a lot of those folks.
Right.
This excerpt is brought to you by the Massachusetts School of Law, the leader of reform in legal education and a leader in multimedia education for the public. To view the full interview and for a full listing of MSL's programs, log on to mslaw.edu.